The courtroom is packed. Every seat is full. People stand along the back wall. They're here for something big. Something they've never seen before. Judge Frank Caprio sits at the bench. His face is calm, but his eyes are sharp. He's been a judge for decades. He's seen everything. Or so he thought. The bailiff stands up. His voice echoes through the room. Case number 2025, TR 94382. The State versus Police Chief Raymond Blackwell. The room goes completely silent. A police chief. In court. As a defendant. The doors at the back swing open. In walks Raymond Blackwell. He's 52 years old. Gray hair perfectly combed. A custom navy suit that probably costs $5,000. Italian leather shoes so shiny you can see your reflection. A gold Omega watch on his wrist. Diamond cufflinks catch the light. But it's his face that tells the real story. His chin is up. His mouth has a slight smirk. His eyes scan the room like he owns it. Because in his mind he does. Behind him, his lawyer rushes to keep up. The lawyer looks nervous. His briefcase shakes slightly in his hand. On the other side of the courtroom sits Elena Martinez. She's 38 years old. She wears a simple blue dress from Target. Her hands are folded in her lap. Her eyes are red from crying. Next to her is her 10-year-old daughter, Sophia. The girl holds her mother's hand tight. Elena works as a school crossing guard. She makes $13 an hour. Every morning at 6:30 a.m., she stands at the corner of Maple Street and 4th Avenue. She helps kids cross safely to Lincoln Elementary School. Rain, snow, heat. She's always there. She's been doing it for 8 years. Never missed a day. Until 3 months ago. 3 months ago, her life changed forever. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, no matter their badge or their bank account, you'll want to see what happens next. Judge Caprio looks at Raymond Blackwell. Chief Blackwell, you're here today regarding a hit-and-run incident that occurred on October 8th. Do you understand the charges against you? Raymond doesn't answer right away. He adjusts his cufflinks. Takes his time. Finally, he speaks. Your Honor, I think there's been a misunderstanding. I'm the chief of police in this city. I've served for 28 years. This whole thing is blown out of proportion. His voice is smooth, confident, like he's talking to a subordinate, not a judge. Judge Caprio's expression doesn't change. Chief Blackwell, I asked if you understand the charges. It's a simple yes or no question. Raymond's jaw tightens. Just for a second. Then the smirk returns. Yes, I understand them. I just don't agree with them. People in the courtroom shift in their seats. A woman in the front row whispers to her husband. The bailiff's eyes narrow slightly. Judge Caprio looks at Elena. His voice becomes softer. Mrs. Martinez, can you tell the court what happened on October 8th? Elena stands up slowly. Her legs shake. Sophia squeezes her hand one more time before letting go. Elena walks to the witness stand. She sits down, takes a deep breath. I was at my post, at Maple and 4th. It was 7:15 in the morning. The kids were crossing. I had my stop sign up. The light was red. Her voice is quiet but steady. A black SUV came down Maple Street. It was going fast. Too fast. I held up my sign higher, but the SUV didn't slow down. It ran the red light. It was headed straight for the children. Her voice cracks. She pauses, swallows hard. I pushed Sophia and 2 other kids out of the way, but I couldn't get out of the way myself. The SUV hit me. I flew 6 feet through the air. I landed on the pavement. I heard my legs snap. A gasp goes through the courtroom. Someone in the back says, "Oh my God," under their breath. The SUV stopped. For just a second. I was on the ground. I was screaming. In so much pain. I looked up. I saw the driver's face through the window. It was him. She points at Raymond Blackwell. Raymond's face stays blank. He examines his fingernails. Our eyes met. I thought he would help. He's the police chief. He's supposed to protect people. But he looked at me. And then he drove away. He just drove away and left me there on the street. Tears stream down Elena's face now. But she keeps talking. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. I had surgery on my leg. Metal pins and plates. I can't work anymore. I can't stand for long periods. I lost my job. My health insurance. We're 3 months behind on rent. Sophia had nightmares for weeks. She saw the whole thing. She thought I was going to die. Elena wipes her eyes. I'm not asking for anything except the truth. I just want him to admit what he did. That's all. She steps down from the witness stand, walks back to her seat. Sophia hugs her tight. Judge Caprio is quiet for a moment. Then he looks at Raymond. Chief Blackwell, what do you have to say about Mrs. Martinez's testimony? Raymond stands up. He doesn't look at Elena. He looks only at the judge. Your Honor, I was responding to an emergency call that morning. I had my lights on. I was driving with urgency because lives were at stake. If there was any contact with Mrs. Martinez, it was minimal. I had to continue to the emergency. That's protocol. I reported the incident later. Elena's mouth drops open. That's not true, she shouts. You didn't have your lights on. There was no emergency. You were on your phone. The bailiff steps forward. Order in the court. Judge Caprio raises his hand. Mrs. Martinez, please. I understand your emotion, but let me handle this. He looks back at Raymond. Chief Blackwell, you say you reported this incident. When? Raymond's lawyer jumps up. Your Honor, my client filed a report 3 days later, once all the facts were gathered. 3 days. Judge Caprio's eyebrows rise. You hit a pedestrian, a crossing guard protecting children, and you waited 3 days to report it. Raymond shrugs. One shoulder. Casual. I was busy. We had a major investigation. Time got away from me. A man in the gallery stands up. Are you kidding me right now? The bailiff motions for him to sit down. Judge Caprio leans forward. Chief Blackwell, being busy is not an excuse for leaving the scene of an accident, especially when someone is injured. Raymond's smirk grows wider. He actually chuckles. Your Honor, with all due respect, I think you're forgetting who you're talking to. I'm the chief of police. I know the law better than most people in this room. I know what constitutes a hit and run. And this isn't it. The room erupts. People are talking over each other. The bailiff calls for order again. Judge Caprio bangs his gavel. Mr. Blackwell, sit down. Raymond sits, but slowly, like he's doing the judge a favor. Judge Caprio takes off his glasses, cleans them with a cloth from his robe pocket, puts them back on. It's a gesture everyone in Providence knows. It means he's thinking. Carefully. Let's look at the evidence. Bailiff, please present Exhibit A. The bailiff wheels in a TV screen. He presses a button. The screen lights up. This is traffic camera footage from the intersection of Maple and 4th. October 8th, 7:15 a.m. Everyone in the courtroom leans forward. The video plays. The image is clear. Black and white, but clear. There's Elena in her bright yellow safety vest. Her stop sign is raised high. Kids in backpacks are crossing the street. They're holding hands, walking carefully. Then a black SUV appears from the left side of the screen. It's going fast. You can tell even from the video. It doesn't slow down at the red light. Doesn't even tap the brakes. Elena sees it. She drops her sign, runs toward the children, pushes 3 of them back onto the sidewalk. The SUV hits her. Her body flies through the air, lands hard on the pavement. She's not moving. The SUV stops for exactly 3 seconds. You can see it clearly, just sitting there. Then it drives away, speeds off down the street. The courtroom is silent, dead silent. The only sound is Elena crying softly. Judge Caprio pauses the video. Chief Blackwell, that's your vehicle, isn't it? A black Escalade, license plate PCH 001. Police Chief Number 1. Correct. Raymond's lawyer whispers something to him. Raymond waves him off. Yes, that's my vehicle. But like I said, I was responding to an emergency. Judge Caprio presses a button. The video rewinds. He zooms in on the SUV. On top of the vehicle, you can see the light bar. The emergency lights. They're off. Completely dark. Your lights were not on, Chief Blackwell. Raymond shifts in his seat. They malfunctioned that morning. I had them on, but they weren't working. Judge Caprio makes a note on his paper. Interesting. We'll come back to that. Bailiff, Exhibit B, please. The bailiff holds up a phone. This is the defendant's personal cell phone, obtained through warrant. The phone records show that at 7:14 a.m., 1 minute before the collision, Chief Blackwell received a phone call. The call lasted 6 minutes. During the time of the accident, the call was still active. Who was the call from? Judge Caprio asks. The bailiff looks at his notes. The number is registered to Westfield Country Club. According to the club's records, the call was to confirm Chief Blackwell's tea time for that morning at 8 a.m. The courtroom explodes again. People are shouting. Someone yells, he was going to play golf. The bailiff has to call for order 3 times. Raymond's face turns red. So what? I can make phone calls while driving. That's not illegal. Actually, Judge Caprio says, his voice cutting through the noise, in Rhode Island, it is illegal to use a handheld device while driving in a school zone, which Maple and 4th is. And it's especially illegal when that distraction causes you to run a red light and hit a pedestrian. Raymond stands up. Your Honor, I'm going to be honest with you. This is ridiculous. I serve this city. I put my life on the line every single day. I've closed murder cases. I've stopped drug dealers. I've made this city safer. And you're going to drag me through court because of a minor traffic incident. A minor traffic incident. Judge Caprio's voice is sharp now. Mrs. Martinez has permanent injuries. She lost her job. She's facing eviction. Her daughter has trauma. You call that minor? Raymond throws up his hands. People get hurt every day. That's life. Should I stop and hold everyone's hand every time something happens? I have important work to do. Real work. Not standing on a corner holding a sign. Elena gasps. Sophia starts crying. Elena pulls her daughter close, covering her ears. Judge Caprio's face hardens. Chief Blackwell, you need to watch your words very carefully. Why? Raymond takes a step forward. His lawyer tries to grab his arm. Raymond jerks away. Why should I watch my words? I'm telling the truth. She's a crossing guard. I'm the chief of police. We're not the same. I have responsibilities. I have authority. I have. You have no respect, Judge Caprio interrupts. For this court. For Mrs. Martinez. For the law you swore to uphold. Raymond laughs. Actually laughs. It's not a friendly laugh. It's cold. Mean. Your Honor, I've been upholding the law since before you were on this bench. I've arrested hundreds of people. I've testified in thousands of cases. I know how this system works. Better than you think. Then you know that no one is above the law. That's a nice saying for the public, Raymond says. His voice drops lower. More dangerous. But we both know that's not how it really works. Some people matter more than others. That's reality. I matter. I keep this city running. Without me, crime goes up. People get hurt. The mayor knows that. The city council knows that. Even you know that, Judge. He steps closer to the bench. His lawyer is pulling at his jacket now, whispering urgently. Raymond ignores him. Do you know how many calls came into this courthouse before today? 12. 12 different people called on my behalf. The mayor, 3 city councilmen, 2 state senators, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, even a congressman. They all said the same thing. That this case is a waste of time. That I'm too valuable to the city. That charges should be dropped. Judge Caprio's expression doesn't change. Is that a fact? That's a fact. Because I have relationships. I have influence. I have power. And you know what else I have? Raymond leans on the defendant's table. His smirk is back. Bigger than before. I have the truth on my side. The truth that some people are more important than others. That's not mean. That's not wrong. That's just how the world works. He points at Elena, without looking at her. She stands on a corner. I run a police department of 450 officers. A budget of $80 million. I make decisions that affect 180,000 residents. She makes $13 an hour. I make $185,000 a year. Plus benefits. Plus my pension. In my world, Your Honor, we call that the difference between essential and expendable. The courtroom erupts. People are on their feet. Someone throws a wadded-up piece of paper. It bounces off Raymond's shoulder. He doesn't even flinch. The bailiff and 2 security guards move toward the crowd. Judge Caprio bangs his gavel. Over and over. Order. Order in this court. Everyone sit down now, or I will clear this courtroom. Slowly people sit, but the anger is thick in the air. You can feel it. Heavy. Hot. Elena is sobbing now. Her whole body shakes. Sophia is crying too, but she's trying to be quiet. Trying to be brave for her mom. Judge Caprio stares at Raymond Blackwell. For 10 full seconds, he just stares. Raymond stares back. Neither man blinks. Finally, Judge Caprio speaks. His voice is quiet. Dangerously quiet. Mr. Blackwell, did you just say that Mrs. Martinez is expendable? I said what I said. Raymond crosses his arms. You want me to apologize for telling the truth? Not going to happen. This whole thing is a joke. I hit a pothole harder than I hit her. She's fine. She's walking. She's here. She's milking this for everything she can get, probably hoping for a payout. That's what people like her do. People like her. Judge Caprio's voice is ice. Yeah, people who don't contribute much, who want something for nothing, who see a uniform and see dollar signs. I've dealt with it my whole career. Everyone wants to sue the police. Everyone wants their payday. Well, not for me. Not ever. Judge Caprio closes his eyes for a moment. He takes a long, slow breath. When he opens his eyes again, everyone in the courtroom can see something has changed. A line has been crossed. Bailiff, I want to see more evidence before we proceed. Exhibit C, please. The bailiff nods. He pulls up another video. This is body camera footage from Officer Mike Torres. He was the first responding officer to the scene of the accident. The video plays. You see through Officer Torres's eyes. He's running toward the intersection. People are gathered around. They're kneeling on the ground. In the center is Elena. She's on her back. Her leg is bent at a horrible angle. Blood is pooling beneath her. She's screaming. Not words. Just screams of pure pain. Officer Torres kneels down. Ma'am, I'm Officer Torres. Help is coming. Can you tell me what happened? Elena can barely speak. Her face is white. She's going into shock. Black SUV. Ran the light. Hit me. Drove away. Did you see who was driving? Yes. Elena's voice is barely a whisper. Chief Blackwell. It was Chief Blackwell. Officer Torres goes still. Are you sure? I'm sure. I saw his face. Please. It hurts so much. The ambulance arrives. Paramedics rush in. They start working on Elena. One of them looks at her leg and shakes his head. We need to get her to surgery now. Officer Torres stands up. He walks a few steps away. He speaks into his radio. Dispatch, this is Torres. I need to speak to a supervisor immediately. It's urgent. The video ends. Judge Caprio looks at Raymond. Officer Torres reported what Mrs. Martinez said. He filed his report within 2 hours of the incident. 3 days before you filed yours. His report states clearly that Mrs. Martinez identified you as the driver. What do you have to say about that? Raymond shrugs. She was in shock. People in shock say all kinds of things. Memory isn't reliable. Everyone knows that. Exhibit D, Judge Caprio says. The bailiff holds up a folder. Security camera footage from businesses along Maple Street. We have 3 different angles showing the black Escalade leaving the scene. One camera captured a clear image of the driver. The bailiff puts a photo on the screen. It's a still image from the video. You can see through the windshield of the Escalade. The driver is clearly visible. It's Raymond Blackwell. His face is turned slightly. His mouth is open, like he's talking. In his hand against his ear is a cell phone. That's you, Chief Blackwell. On your phone. Looking at the road. And you just hit someone. But you kept driving. You kept talking on your phone about your golf game. Raymond's lawyer stands up. Your Honor, my client has already admitted to being in the vehicle. This is just redundant evidence. Sit down, counselor, Judge Caprio says. I'm not done. Exhibit E. The bailiff brings out a tablet. Text messages from Chief Blackwell's phone. These were sent after the accident. Judge Caprio reads from the screen. At 7:23 a.m., 8 minutes after the collision, Chief Blackwell texted his deputy chief. Quote, had a situation this morning. Minor traffic thing. Going to need it buried. Handle it. End quote. Raymond's face goes pale. Just a little. Just for a second. Judge Caprio continues. At 7:31 a.m., he texted the mayor. Quote, need a favor. Call you later to explain. Trust me, it's nothing major. End quote. At 7:45 a.m., he texted his golf partner. Quote, running a few minutes late. Had to deal with something. Still good for 8 o'clock. End quote. Judge Caprio sets down the tablet. He removes his glasses again. Rubs his eyes. Puts the glasses back on. So let me make sure I understand this correctly. Chief Blackwell, you hit a pedestrian. You left the scene. You didn't call for an ambulance. You didn't check if she was okay. Instead, you called your subordinates to cover it up. You called political allies to help you. And then you went to play golf. Is that accurate? Raymond's jaw is tight. The smirk is gone now. I was going to handle it properly. I just needed time to assess the situation. You needed 3 days to assess the situation. I'm a busy man. You were busy playing golf. The courtroom is silent. Everyone is leaning forward. This is the moment. The moment it all comes apart. Raymond's hands clench into fists. His face is red now. Really red. You know what, Your Honor? Yes. I went to play golf. Because I earned it. Because I work 70 hours a week. Because I deserve to have a life outside of babysitting this city. And if that makes me a bad guy, then fine. I'm a bad guy. But I'm a bad guy who keeps you safe. I'm a bad guy who stops murderers and rapists and drug dealers. So yeah, maybe I cut a corner. Maybe I didn't handle one small situation perfectly. But in the big picture, I'm still the good guy here. He's breathing hard now. His chest is rising and falling fast. He's losing control. And he doesn't even realize it. You want to punish me? For what? For being human. For making a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes, Judge. Even you. But when I make a mistake, the whole city wants to crucify me. Why? Because I have a badge. Because I have authority? That's not fair. That's not justice. Judge Caprio's voice is steady. Calm. Mr. Blackwell, the badge is not what's on trial here. You are. Your choices. Your actions. Your character. My character? Raymond laughs again. That same cold laugh. My character is fine. I've got commendations. Awards. Letters of appreciation from dozens of people. I've been police chief for 7 years without a single major incident. My record speaks for itself. Then let's talk about your record, Judge Caprio says. He pulls out another folder. This one is thick. Very thick. I've done some research since this case came to my court. Your record is interesting, Chief Blackwell. Raymond's eyes narrow. What does that mean? It means that over the past 7 years, there have been 47 internal complaints filed against you. 47 complaints of abuse of authority, excessive force during arrests, inappropriate comments to female officers, retaliation against officers who questioned your decisions. All 47 complaints were investigated by your own Internal Affairs Department, and all 47 were dismissed or marked as unfounded. Judge Caprio looks up from the folder. That's quite a coincidence, wouldn't you say? Those complaints were baseless, Raymond says. His voice is tight. People file complaints when they don't like authority. It doesn't mean anything. I also found that during your tenure, 23 officers have transferred to other departments. When interviewed, 19 of them cited your leadership style as a primary reason for leaving. One officer said, and I quote, Chief Blackwell believes he's untouchable. He treats the department like his personal kingdom. Raymond's lawyer stands up. Your Honor, this is character assassination. None of this is relevant to the case at hand. It's absolutely relevant, Judge Caprio says. It shows a pattern of someone who believes the rules don't apply to him. Someone who uses his position to avoid consequences. Someone who has never been held accountable. He looks directly at Raymond. Until today. Raymond's face goes from red to purple. A vein pulses in his forehead. You're out of line, Judge. Way out of line. You have no idea what you're doing. Do you understand who I am? What I can do? Are you threatening me, Chief Blackwell? I'm stating facts. Raymond's voice is loud now. Really loud. I have connections. I have friends in high places. One phone call and your next election gets very difficult. One phone call and suddenly your cases get scrutinized. One phone call and what? Judge Caprio's voice cuts through Raymond's rant like a knife. You'll ruin me? You'll destroy my career? Is that what you're saying? In open court? In front of all these witnesses? Raymond realizes what he just said. His mouth closes. But it's too late. Way too late. Judge Caprio leans back in his chair. Let me tell you something, Chief Blackwell. I've been a judge for 38 years. I've faced threats before. From mob bosses. From gang leaders. From corporate criminals. None of them scared me. You know why? Because I don't work for them. I work for the law. And the law is very clear about what you did. He picks up the file in front of him. Flips through pages. You committed hit and run. That's a crime. You left the scene of an accident with injuries. That's a crime. You attempted to obstruct justice by telling your deputy to bury it. That's a crime. You used your position to intimidate witnesses and influence the investigation. That's a crime. And just now, you attempted to threaten a sitting judge. That's also a crime. Raymond's mouth opens, closes, opens again. No words come out. Judge Caprio continues. But you know what the worst crime is? The one that's not in any law book. You looked at a woman bleeding on the street, a woman who just saved children from being killed, and you drove away. You decided your golf game was more important than her life. You decided your reputation was more valuable than her health. You decided that you mattered and she didn't. He stands up. Everyone in the courtroom stands too. Except Raymond. He's frozen in place. That's not a crime against the state, Chief Blackwell. That's a crime against humanity. Against basic human decency. Against everything that badge on your chest is supposed to represent. Judge Caprio sits back down. He picks up his gavel. I've heard enough. Chief Blackwell, I'm ready to deliver my judgment. Raymond finally moves. He grabs his lawyer's arm. Do something, he hisses. The lawyer looks helpless. Chief, I tried to tell you. You should have taken the plea deal. You should have shown remorse. But you wouldn't listen. I'm not pleading guilty to anything. Raymond shouts. I didn't do anything wrong. Judge Caprio bangs his gavel once. Hard. Mr. Blackwell. Sit down. Now. Raymond sits, but his leg bounces up and down. Fast. Nervous energy. Judge Caprio takes a long breath. Raymond Blackwell, I find you guilty of hit and run with serious bodily injury. I find you guilty of leaving the scene of an accident. I find you guilty of obstruction of justice. And I find you guilty of contempt of court for your behavior here today. A cheer goes up from the gallery. People are clapping. Judge Caprio lets it go on for a few seconds. Then he bangs his gavel again. Sentencing will proceed immediately. The state recommends a fine of $5,000 and a suspended license for 30 days. However, I don't believe that's sufficient. Not even close. Raymond's leg stops bouncing. He goes very still. Here is my sentence. First, you will pay a fine of $35,000. $15,000 for the hit and run. $10,000 for obstruction of justice. $10,000 for contempt of court. This money will be paid within 30 days, or you will be held in civil contempt until payment is received. Raymond's face is white now. Completely white. Second, your driver's license is suspended for 1 full year. Not 30 days. 1 year. You will not drive any vehicle, personal or police-issued, during this time. If you are caught driving, you will be arrested immediately and face additional charges. Judge Caprio pauses. Lets that sink in. Third, you will complete 300 hours of community service. But not just any community service. You will serve those hours as a crossing guard. At the exact same intersection where you hit Mrs. Martinez. Maple Street and 4th Avenue. Lincoln Elementary School. Gasps fill the courtroom. Someone says, "Oh my God, yes." Another person starts clapping. Soon everyone is clapping. Even the bailiff is trying not to smile. Raymond jumps to his feet. You can't be serious. I'm the chief of police. You're going to make me a crossing guard. Every single morning, Judge Caprio says, Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. For the entire school year, you will wear the safety vest. You will hold the stop sign. You will help children cross the street safely. You will do the job that Mrs. Martinez did with pride and dedication for 8 years. This is humiliating. Raymond shouts. Good, Judge Caprio says. Maybe humiliation will teach you humility. Something you desperately need. He's not done. Fourth, you will write a personal letter of apology to Mrs. Martinez. Not typed. Handwritten. At least 1,000 words. In this letter, you will acknowledge what you did. You will take full responsibility. You will explain what you've learned. This letter will be delivered to Mrs. Martinez in person, in this courtroom, in 30 days. If the letter is not sincere, if it's written by your lawyer, if it's anything less than genuine, I will reject it and add additional community service hours. Raymond's hands are shaking now. His lawyer has his head in his hands. Fifth, you will make a public statement. At a press conference, attended by all major news outlets. In this statement, you will admit what you did. You will apologize to Mrs. Martinez. You will apologize to the city. You will announce your resignation as police chief, effective immediately. No. Raymond screams. You can't make me resign. That's my career. That's my pension. I'm not making you resign, Judge Caprio says. That's your choice. But if you don't resign voluntarily, I will recommend to the mayor and city council that you be terminated for cause, which means you lose your pension. Voluntarily resigning allows you to keep your pension. It's your decision. Raymond's breathing is rapid now. He's hyperventilating. His lawyer tries to hand him water. Raymond knocks the bottle out of his hand. Water spills across the floor. 6th, Judge Caprio continues, you will attend anger management counseling. Twice a week. For 6 months. A licensed therapist will provide progress reports to this court. If you miss a session, if you don't take it seriously, I will revoke your suspended sentence and activate jail time. Wait. Suspended sentence. Jail time? Which brings me to the final part of your sentence, Judge Caprio says. His voice is firm. Strong. For hit and run with serious bodily injury, the maximum sentence is 2 years in prison. For obstruction of justice, the maximum is 5 years. For contempt of court, I can sentence you to 6 months. Raymond grabs the table in front of him. His knuckles are white. I'm sentencing you to 90 days in county jail. However, this sentence is suspended. Do you know what that means, Chief Blackwell? It means you don't go to jail today. But if you violate any part of this sentence, if you miss 1 hour of community service, if you drive 1 time, if you fail to write that letter, if you don't resign, if you skip counseling, the suspension is revoked. And you will serve the full 90 days. No exceptions. No second chances. Judge Caprio leans forward. You've spent your entire career putting people in jail. Maybe the threat of jail yourself will remind you what accountability feels like. Raymond opens his mouth, closes it, opens it again. Finally, words come out. Your Honor, please. You're destroying my life. Everything I've worked for. Everything I've built. You're taking it all away because of one mistake. One accident. Is that really fair? Judge Caprio's expression softens just slightly. Just for a moment. Mr. Blackwell, let me ask you a question. What do you think happened to Mrs. Martinez's life after you hit her? She lost her job, her income, her health insurance, her ability to work. She's facing eviction. She's in debt for medical bills. Her daughter had nightmares for weeks. You took everything away from her because of one choice. One selfish choice. Is that fair? Raymond doesn't answer. He can't answer. You had power, Judge Caprio says. Real power. A badge. Authority. The trust of 180,000 residents. You could have used that power to help people. To serve. To protect. But you used it to protect yourself. To avoid consequences. To hurt someone and walk away. He picks up his gavel. Power without accountability is tyranny. The badge doesn't make you special. It makes you responsible. And today, you're being held responsible. Bang. The gavel comes down. Court is adjourned. Chief Blackwell, you have 24 hours to turn yourself in to the county jail for processing. You'll be released the same day, but your sentence officially starts then. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Blackwell out. The bailiff steps forward. Raymond doesn't move at first. He just stands there, staring at nothing. His entire world just collapsed. His lawyer touches his arm. Chief, we need to go. We can appeal. We can fight this. No. Raymond's voice is flat. Empty. It's over. He turns toward Elena. For the first time all day, he really looks at her. She's standing now. Sophia is holding her hand. Elena's eyes meet his. Raymond starts. His voice cracks. But he can't finish. The words won't come. He turns away. Walks toward the door. His expensive shoes click on the floor. Each step sounds loud in the silent courtroom. At the door, he stops. Looks back at Judge Caprio. I was a good cop once, he says. Quietly. I really was. I believe you, Judge Caprio says. Which makes this even sadder. Because somewhere along the way, you forgot what that means. Raymond walks out. The door closes behind him. The courtroom stays silent for a long moment. Then Elena starts crying. But these tears are different. They're relief. Release. Justice. People come up to her. Hug her. Tell her they're proud of her. She stands there, overwhelmed, holding Sophia tight. Judge Caprio watches from the bench. A small smile crosses his face. 1 month later. It's a cold November morning. The sun is just coming up. Orange and pink light spreads across the sky. At the corner of Maple Street and 4th Avenue, a figure stands in a yellow safety vest. In his hands is a stop sign. He's wearing simple clothes. Jeans. A sweatshirt. Old sneakers. His breath makes clouds in the cold air. Raymond Blackwell has been here every morning for 4 weeks. At first, people stared. Some laughed. Some took pictures. It was humiliating, just like Judge Caprio said it would be. But something strange has happened. The children, they don't care who he used to be. They don't know about his crimes or his court case. They just know he's the crossing guard. He helps them get to school safely. That's all that matters to them. On his second week, a little boy thanked him. "Thanks, mister," the kid said with a big smile. Raymond didn't know what to say. He just nodded. On his third week, a girl gave him a drawing. She drew him holding the stop sign with a sun in the corner. "You're doing a good job," she wrote at the bottom. Raymond put that drawing in his wallet. He looks at it sometimes. This morning, he's been here for 30 minutes. His fingers are numb. His back hurts from standing. He thinks about Elena. How she did this for 8 years. Every single day. Rain or shine. Heat or cold. Never complained. Never quit. He didn't understand. But now he's starting to. A car comes down Maple Street. Raymond holds up his stop sign. The car stops. A group of kids crosses safely. They wave at him. He waves back. Sophia Martinez is in that group. She recognizes him. She stops walking. Looks at him. He looks back at her. "I'm sorry," he says. His voice is rough. "I'm so sorry." Sophia doesn't say anything. She's 10 years old. She doesn't have to forgive him. That's not her job. But she nods. Just once. Then she keeps walking to school. Raymond watches her go. Tears sting his eyes. He blinks them away. Across the street, leaning against a lamppost, is Elena. She comes here sometimes. Not to work. Just to watch. To see him doing her job. Their eyes meet. Raymond wants to look away. But he doesn't. He nods at her. She doesn't nod back. But she doesn't look away either. That night, Raymond sits at his kitchen table. A blank piece of paper is in front of him. A pen in his hand. He's been sitting here for an hour. Finally, he starts writing. "Dear Mrs. Martinez, I don't know if words can ever be enough." He writes for 3 hours. His hand cramps. He makes mistakes. Crosses them out. Starts over. The first draft is terrible. Too formal. Too legal. Not real. The second draft is angry. He blames everyone but himself. He rips it up. The third draft is honest. Painful. Real. He writes about his childhood. How he became a cop to help people. How somewhere along the way, the power went to his head. How he started believing he was more important than others. How he forgot what service really means. He writes about that morning. How he was distracted. Angry about something at work. Talking on the phone. Not paying attention. How he saw Elena too late. How he panicked. How he made the worst decision of his life and just drove away. He writes about his shame. His guilt. His regret. How he thinks about that moment every single day. How he wishes he could take it back. How he knows he can't. He writes about the children he helps cross the street now. How they trust him. How that trust is precious. How Elena earned that trust every day for 8 years. How he took it for granted. By the time he finishes, it's 2 a.m. His letter is 1,400 words. His hand is covered in ink. But it's done. He reads it over. It's not perfect, but it's true. That's what matters. The next day, Raymond goes back to court. It's a review hearing. Judge Caprio wants to see his progress. Raymond walks into the courtroom. He looks different. Thinner. Tired. Older. But also somehow lighter. Like a weight has been lifted. Elena is there. So is Sophia. So are some of the parents from Lincoln Elementary. They're here to report on his community service. Judge Caprio calls the court to order. "Chief Blackwell, or rather Mr. Blackwell, how is your community service going?" "It's hard, Your Honor," Raymond says. "Really hard. But I'm doing it. Every day. On time. I have my log sheets here. Signed by the principal." The bailiff takes the papers. Hands them to Judge Caprio. He reviews them. Nods. "I've also received reports from parents and teachers at Lincoln Elementary. They say you've been professional, punctual, good with the children. Is that accurate?" "I try, Your Honor. I'm learning. I didn't realize how difficult the job was, how much attention it requires. Mrs. Martinez made it look easy. It's not." Judge Caprio looks at Elena. "Mrs. Martinez, do you have anything to say?" Elena stands up. Everyone in the courtroom turns to look at her. She takes a deep breath. "I've been watching him," she says. "At the corner. With the kids. At first I wanted him to fail. I wanted him to suffer, like I suffered. But—" She pauses. Wipes her eyes. "But he's actually trying. He's not just going through the motions. He's really trying." Raymond closes his eyes. A tear runs down his cheek. "That doesn't erase what he did," Elena continues. "My leg still hurts every day. I still can't work. We're still struggling, but I can see he's changing. And maybe that's what justice is supposed to do. Not just punish, but change people. She sits down. Sophia squeezes her hand. Judge Caprio nods slowly. Mr. Blackwell, do you have that letter I ordered? Raymond reaches into his jacket, pulls out an envelope, walks slowly to Elena. He holds it out to her. This is for you, he says. His voice is quiet. I wrote it myself. Every word. I want you to know. I'll never forgive myself for what I did. But I hope one day you might. Elena takes the envelope. Doesn't open it. Just holds it. Raymond walks back to his spot. Stands there. Waiting. Judge Caprio speaks. Mr. Blackwell, I've reviewed your progress. You've completed 85 hours of community service. You've attended all 8 anger management sessions. Your therapist reports you're engaged and making progress. You've resigned as police chief. You've made your public apology. You've paid your fine in full. And now you've delivered your letter. He pauses. I'm impressed. Genuinely impressed. When I sentenced you, I wasn't sure you'd follow through. I thought you might run, or appeal, or give up. But you haven't. You've shown up. Every single day. That takes courage. Raymond's shoulders relax slightly. However, Judge Caprio continues, you still have 215 hours of community service left. You still have 4 months of anger management. Your license is still suspended for 11 more months. The suspended jail sentence still hangs over you. You're not done, Mr. Blackwell. Not even close. I understand, Your Honor, Raymond says. I'll finish. All of it. Whatever it takes. Judge Caprio nods. See that you do. Next review hearing is in 2 months. Dismissed. The gavel comes down. As people file out of the courtroom, Elena opens the envelope. She reads the letter right there. Tears stream down her face. Sophia reads over her shoulder. When Elena finishes, she folds the letter carefully, puts it back in the envelope. She looks up, sees Raymond standing by the door, watching her. She walks over to him. Raymond's eyes go wide. He looks scared, like he expects her to yell, to hit him, to tell him she'll never forgive him. Instead, Elena says, "Thank you for writing this, for being honest." Raymond's mouth opens. No words come out. He nods. That's all he can do. "I'm not ready to forgive you yet," Elena says. "Maybe I never will be, but I believe you're sorry. That's a start." She walks past him, out of the courthouse, into the sunlight. Raymond stands there, alone, but for the first time in months, he feels something other than shame and guilt. He feels hope. 6 months later, Raymond has completed all 300 hours of community service. He's graduated from anger management. His therapist wrote a glowing final report. He's paid all his fines. He's kept every single condition of his sentence. He's also done something Judge Caprio didn't order. He started a program at the police department. It's called the Accountability Project. Every new officer has to spend 2 weeks doing community service before they graduate from academy. They work in schools, homeless shelters, food banks, places where they meet the people they're supposed to serve. Raymond doesn't run the program. He can't. He's not a cop anymore. But he helped design it. He meets with the recruits, tells them his story, shows them what happens when you forget why you became a cop in the first place. Some recruits roll their eyes, think it's a waste of time. But most listen, really listen. They see the pain in Raymond's face, the regret. They learn from his mistakes. Raymond also started volunteering at Lincoln Elementary. After his 300 required hours, he just kept coming. The principal asked why. Raymond said, "Because I need to remember. Every day. What matters." He reads to kids during lunch, helps in the library, assists the PE teacher. The kids love him. They don't know his past. They just know he's Mr. Ray, the nice volunteer who always has time to listen. One day, Sophia Martinez walks into the library. She sees Raymond helping a first grader find a book. She stops, watches. Raymond looks up, sees her. He smiles, small, unsure. Sophia walks over. "Mr. Ray." "Hi, Sophia," he says. "How are you?" "Good." She pauses. Then, "My mom told me who you are, what you did." Raymond's smile disappears. "I understand if you don't want me here. I'll leave if—" "No," Sophia interrupts. "That's not what I mean. I wanted to say thank you." Raymond blinks. "Thank you? For what?" "For helping now. For changing. My mom says people can make terrible mistakes, but still become better. You're proof that's true. Raymond's eyes fill with tears. He can't help it. Your mom is a very wise woman. I know, Sophia says. She smiles. Okay, I have to go to class. Bye, Mr. Ray. She walks away. Raymond sits there in the library, surrounded by books, surrounded by children. He thinks about where he was a year ago, who he was, and he thinks about who he's becoming. That evening, there's a knock on his door. Raymond opens it. Elena is standing there. It's the first time she's come to his house. Mrs. Martinez, he says, surprise clear in his voice. Is everything okay? Can we talk? She asks. Of course. Please come in. They sit in his living room. It's awkward at first. Neither knows what to say. Finally, Elena speaks. I came here to tell you something. I got a job. Raymond's face lights up. That's wonderful. Where? The school district. They created a new position. Safety coordinator. I'll train all the crossing guards. Develop safety programs. Work with traffic engineers to make school zones safer. It's full-time, with benefits. Better pay than before. Elena, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Elena nods. The position exists because of what happened. Because your case brought attention to school safety. The city allocated funding. So in a weird way, something good came from something terrible. Raymond is quiet for a moment. I'm glad. I'm glad something positive came from my actions. Even if it doesn't undo the harm. No, Elena says. It doesn't undo the harm. But it helps. It makes meaning from the pain. She reaches into her purse, pulls out a small box, hands it to Raymond. What's this? He asks. Open it. Raymond opens the box. Inside is a keychain. It's simple. Metal. On one side is engraved, remember why. On the other side is serve with humility. I had it made, Elena says. I thought, when you get your license back in 6 months, you should have this. To remind you, every time you get in a car, every time you're tempted to think you're more important than someone else, to remember. Raymond holds the keychain. His hands shake. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve your kindness. Maybe not, Elena says. But I'm giving it anyway. Because holding on to anger hurts me more than it hurts you. Because I saw you at the school. I saw you change. And because my daughter believes in second chances. So I'm going to try to believe in them too. Raymond looks up at her. Tears stream down his face. Thank you. I'll carry this every day. I promise. And Elena, I'm sorry. I'll never stop being sorry. I know, she says. That's why I can start to forgive you. She stands up. Raymond stands too. She holds out her hand. He shakes it. It's formal, but it's a start. Elena leaves. Raymond sits back down, holds the keychain tight in his fist. He closes his eyes. And for the first time since that October morning a year ago, he feels like maybe, just maybe, he's going to be okay. 1 year later, Judge Frank Caprio sits in his chambers. He's reviewing files for tomorrow's cases. There's a knock on his door. Come in, he says. The door opens. Raymond Blackwell walks in. He's wearing simple clothes. Jeans. A sweater. He looks like a regular person. Not a police chief. Not a criminal. Just a person. Mr. Blackwell, Judge Caprio says. I wasn't expecting you. I know, Your Honor. I'm sorry to drop by without an appointment. I wanted to give you something. Raymond hands Judge Caprio a folder. The judge opens it. Inside is a letter. He reads it. It's a letter to the city council. Raymond is proposing a new city ordinance. It requires all city officials, from police chiefs to council members to department heads, to complete ongoing community service. Not as punishment, as part of the job, to stay connected to the people they serve. This is interesting, Judge Caprio says. Do you think it'll pass? I don't know, Raymond admits. But I'm going to try. I'm going to every council meeting. I'm speaking to community groups. I'm trying to make change. Real change. Not just for me. For everyone. Judge Caprio smiles. Sets down the letter. Mr. Blackwell, when I sentenced you, I wanted to teach you a lesson. I wanted you to understand accountability. But I see now that you've learned something more important than that. You've learned purpose. Raymond nods. You changed my life, Your Honor. I was angry at first. I thought you were cruel. But you weren't. You were kind. Because you gave me a chance to become someone better. Someone I'm proud to be. You did that yourself, Judge Caprio says. I just set the path. You chose to walk it. They shake hands. Raymond leaves. Judge Caprio watches him go. Later that night, Judge Caprio is at home. His wife is reading. He's watching the news. A story comes on. Former Police Chief Raymond Blackwell appeared before the City Council today to propose a new community service requirement for city officials. Blackwell, who was convicted of hit and run last year, has become an advocate for accountability and public service. The council will vote on the proposal next month. The camera shows Raymond speaking at the podium. He's confident, humble, real. Judge Caprio's wife looks over at him. That's the man you sentenced, isn't it? Yes, Judge Caprio says. You must feel proud. Judge Caprio thinks about that. I don't know if pride is the right word, but I feel hope. Hope that the justice system can do what it's supposed to do. Not just punish, but heal, transform, make people better. His wife smiles, goes back to her book. Judge Caprio keeps watching, keeps hoping, because that's what justice is really about. Not revenge, not punishment for punishment's sake, but accountability, growth, change, and sometimes, if you're lucky, redemption. The courtroom where it all happened is quiet now, empty. The lights are off, but if you look closely, you can still feel it. The weight of what happened there, the transformation, the lesson. A badge doesn't make you special. It makes you responsible. Power without accountability is tyranny. No one is above the law. Not the rich, not the powerful, not the police chief, not anyone. And when someone falls, when they make terrible choices, there are two paths. They can keep falling, or they can choose to climb back up, to do better, to be better. Raymond Blackwell chose to climb. Elena Martinez chose to forgive. Judge Frank Caprio chose to give a chance. And the city learned that justice isn't just about punishment. It's about possibility. The possibility that even the worst among us can change, can grow, can become who we're meant to be. Money can buy many things. It can buy expensive cars and designer clothes and country club memberships. It can buy influence and connections and comfort. But money cannot buy back time. It cannot undo harm. It cannot purchase respect. It cannot create character. And in Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, it definitely cannot buy justice. Because justice doesn't care how much money you have. It doesn't care about your badge or your title or your connections. Justice cares about one thing, the truth. And the truth is simple. We're all equal under the law. We all have to face consequences for our choices. We all have the power to be better than we were yesterday. That's the lesson Raymond Blackwell learned. That's the lesson we all need to remember every single day.